blurry.
Oh, there.
Hey, look. Did you get the short person on there?
Yeah.
Turn on the wow. What's that noise? Shh.
On September 29th of 2012, I was on my way to my mother's house, excited to look at a new vehicle with her. When I got there, I had soon figured out that we were not going to look at a vehicle because she was gone. God had called her name. In life, we are going to go through a lot, but when we can't make it better, we need to make the best of every situation. We can never take our families for granted, and we need to appreciate every breath we take because at any given moment, that breath can be gone. My mother, Kayla Bryant, was a beautiful woman. She was happy all the time. She could walk in a room and change the mood just like that. She made the best of everything she got and never took anything for granted. She lived 42 years and had one child and an amazing family around her. She worked at Bobcat since she was 18 years old, and she was 3 credits away from getting her degree. She always worked hard and was the type of woman who never let a man do the job for her. She was very independent. She also did bodybuilding. She was very healthy and fit. She worked out almost every day and ate extremely well, except for on her cheat days, then we would go for pizza and beer. On September 29th, my ex-boyfriend and I were on our way to meet my mom at her home. We were then going to look at the car. I called her about 30 minutes before we got there, telling her we were on our way. She sounded so excited to see me. I was at UND for that semester, so she missed me very much. On the way there, Zach and I were jamming out to Kid Rock and smoking cigarettes. In my mind, this was an ordinary day, just like any other. My life was content, I was happy, and I had it all. As we pulled up to the driveway, I opened the garage door and got out of the car, expecting to walk in to hear my mom say, "Hello." She always emphasized the O's in hello. I walked in and smelled the sweet smell of vanilla. Her house always smelled the best. I walked upstairs thinking she didn't hear us. Zach was following close behind me. As I yelled, "Mom, I'm home," I heard no reply. I walked into her room to find her lying on the bathroom floor face down. Her skin was blue like color, and she had drool coming out of her mouth. I then yelled, "Oh my God, Zach, call 911. He then came into the bathroom to see what had happened. He had no reaction and was in a state of shock. He grabbed his phone and immediately started to dial the crucial 3 numbers. I then started to panic. I immediately started to bawl. I yelled, "Mom, wake up. What are you doing? Wake up." She was not moving and not responsive. I felt for a pulse and felt nothing. Nothing at all. My heart sunk. I thought I was going to puke. Had my world just been taken away from me? Was this real? I had no idea. Zach snapped me out of my daze and said, "Kayla, they want to talk to you." It was the 911 person. I answered. She could barely understand me because I was crying so hard. She had then told me how to give CPR. I tried, but nothing was happening. I hung up the phone and instantly hugged my mother's dead, cold body. Zach picked me up and said, "We need to get you out of here." As he carried me down the stairs, I went numb. The next thing I remember is sitting outside waiting for the ambulance. That had to be the longest minutes of my life. One of my mother's neighbors had ran over to me to see what was going on. She said, "I'm so sorry, dear. If you ever need anything, I live right down there." I nodded my head. I could not talk. I then called my mother's boyfriend, Tom, and told him to get to her house now. He showed up within minutes, and he even beat the ambulance. He was worried and did not know how to act. The ambulance had finally arrived and went upstairs to tend to my mother. They would not tell me what was going on or if she was going to be okay. They said, "We are going to the hospital. If you want to ride with us, you can." I decided to ride with Zach. I had seen enough. I couldn't see her like that any longer. Tom rode with the ambulance. On the ride to the hospital, I called my dad. I told him that what had happened. We were in an argument at the time, and he didn't believe me. I made him talk to Zach, and Zach explained that this is real. Zach then handed the phone to me, and my dad said, "Everything will be okay, Kay. Stay strong. We will get through this. Where are you? I'm on my way." I smoked what seemed to be a pack of cigarettes, and as we finally arrived, my dad was there along with his girlfriend, my aunt and uncle, and my grandma and grandpa. We walked in the red emergency room doors. We sat in the waiting room for what seemed like years. I was crying, and everyone else was too. The doctor finally came out and said, "Come with me." He took us into a little room where we all stood shoulder to shoulder. He said, "I'm sorry, but she did not make it." I'm not positive what I said to him, but I know it wasn't very nice. At that moment, I took all my anger and confusion out on him. My grandpa stopped me from yelling at the doctor any more than I already had, and he took me out of that tiny room. Everyone else in the waiting room was staring at me like I was some kind of freak. They had no idea what was going on. The doctor then came out and asked if I would like to see her again. I immediately said yes, and he took me back to this blue curtain. As he pulled it back, I saw my mom, my best friend, my angel, lying on a hospital bed. The doctor said she would make noises due to the breathing tube in her throat. At that moment, I prayed. I prayed for a miracle. I wanted her to sit up and say, "What the hell are you guys looking at?" I gave her one last hug and kiss and walked out of the room. A priest came and had a prayer service done for her right outside the blue curtain. As the days went by, nothing felt real. I dropped out of college and moved back home with my dad. I was numb. I couldn't cry. Food was sent to the house along with flowers and money. We planned for the funeral and prayer service. So many people came. There was lots of love and hugs were going around everywhere. All Mom's brothers and sisters had come to town as we celebrated her life. We sat around telling stories about her as we laughed and cried. There was food everywhere, but I couldn't eat. I couldn't talk. I couldn't do anything. I put on a fake smile and acted okay. What else can you do? Shortly after, we all went back to our normal lives. Nothing was the same. Nothing ever will be the same. What this experience has taught me is to never take anyone for granted. If I could have given her one last hug, that one last "I love you" is all I could think of. Family is our rock. That can't ever go away. When I say family, I mean the people who we surround ourselves with, your loved ones. So as each day passes, never forget to say "I love you," hug someone, be kind, kiss with all you have, call an old friend, pray, be thankful, and most of all, never ever take anyone for granted. You never know what you have till it's gone. And when it's gone, it's gone. It could be gone forever. Thank you.